Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, the SUVs, the Kiefer dog, the camper. I even have a camper special mug from Beckley's RV, my happy place to the camper. Love my camper. Oh my gosh, what has happened to me, people? What is going on with me on this Friday morning? Overcast, gloomy doomy, cooler weather, still decent amount of humidity here, but the much needed rains here in the Northern Virginia, Maryland, DC area. It's been a very dry summer here for us, very hot summer, but as always, good Friday morning. Those that tune in my channel, thank you so much for tuning in, listen to me gab away and yak away and share the stories and the antics, which I love to do. And I got my Stars and Stripes on for the Labor Day weekend activities, festivities, recognize the hard work of somebody in this country that has made it what it is. And we can only hope we can preserve what it is. But here, over to the collection of all the cars and trucks and motorcycles that are just way too many things. Way many too many things. I'm just beyond control, out of control. Just truly unbelievable. Even for me. I don't disagree. Wow. But I think to myself, what created this? I mean, in so many ways, my own YouTube channel has in some ways circumvented my own life. It really has. And my wife comments on that a lot. She really thinks I go out and buy way too many things just to feed the channel. And in some ways, I could say that's true. But in other ways, I could say I've just been doing this a long time. But not to this extreme. And for the record, for the rewards of the amount of money I've spent, for the rewards of being compensated for sharing with my antics, it's a losing game. I mean, it's a bankrupt game because of all the money I've spent to share with you, to review things, and share with you my silliness of my life, to no avail of anything special, of any grand scheme of me being a top YouTuber that makes a lot of money from all of my sharing all the information. That's what drove this morning's topic, because once again, I don't know where the good old Scotty boy is, but once again, every day I try to pick a word of the day, and I challenge myself, which I enjoy, to just have one word, not a sentence, one word that I can use, that one word, and create content for you to listen to me gab away for quite a long time. They are long conversations, but to me, it's a lot of information. So, and it really follows perfectly with this week's theme of this week. And that's what I kind of try to do. I try to make a theme of each week. So if you remember on Monday, the key word was just that. Key, the keys. Hey, come here, Scout. Come on, boy, get in. What are you doing? No. The Tuesday word, no, come here, was different conversations. The Wednesday word was switch conversations. And then Thursday's word was trade conversations. And I really do appreciate those that weigh in and participate in my channel and making comments. And so today I thought the perfect word, which this word is huge. It is huge. The word, in fact, I even use Gail that has a YouTube channel. And just so you know, a lot of my subscribers are so supportive of my channel. And I know some of you have a YouTube channel, but you don't really. I think Gail, who's not so much a new subscriber, because her husband's been following me, but now she's kind of come to find who I am. Uh-oh, somebody's trying to get in the garbage here. No, just don't do that. Just don't do that. Get away from the food. So for Gail, who's local, so it's really cool, is Gail and her husband, Brian. They're a local couple here. And they're very intrigued by my channel because of the motorcycles. That's what I think what drove Brian to watch my channel. And I talked about that yesterday. But I think I used Gail as a perfect example of how powerful review is, because Gail, with her YouTube channel called Gail's, there we go. Hey, just get away from there. What is going on over there? Oh, you want the ball. So now he's on a mission to something else. So for Gail, the Gail's Food and Stuff YouTube channel, that's the name of it. She decided to go to 7-Eleven, so I went to 7-Eleven this morning with Gail. Did I? No. But she did, and she did a really great review on sharing with you if you decide that you're going to go to 7-Eleven. I think most people would tend to agree. I don't think 7-Eleven's use your top choice of having to get something to eat. I think most people agree they'd rather have another choice. But sometimes you're kind of in a town or a location or the time of day. It just may be that it coordinates where you are going to get something to eat because you're very hungry. And yeah, every time I watch one of Gail's videos, I get hungry. I'm watching Gail's video at 2 in the morning or 5 a.m. And it's like, I'm hungry, So because she does a great job. And I can't emphasize enough, everybody in my channel, you really should take the time to go and check out her channel. And I'll even show it to you here. And I'm only highlighting Gail for the moment because I'm going to move on and talk in more depth about the review here in a second. But I just thought, for me being a YouTuber, it's very challenging to get content, to get recognized, and it's just very challenging. So here is Gail. This is a new video she just published, and it's a great video of her taking the time to share with you what she feels like you go to 7-Eleven, what she get out of that.
Into in quite a while is a 7-Eleven store to actually get something to eat. So I'm going to try all these different things that I got today, and let's see how it is.
So she takes the time, so Gail takes the time, here you are. Her channel is Gail's Food and Stuff. And if you want to check her out, she takes the time to share with her passion of sharing with you what she feels like she can review to possibly help you. And that's what life's all about, I think, for all of us. I think, for the most part, my phone's all... It doesn't end. My magnet had the razor blade stuck to the phone, so I can razor myself this morning. So, for Gail, her review is trying to help you. That's kind of the idea here. And once again, for Gail, hey, I think this is something I take this to heart. Gail is a cancer survivor. I can't even imagine in my lifetime being diagnosed with cancer. And the psychological, incredible, for women, sadly, breast cancer is a huge problem. And sadly, we read obituaries all the time of young women. Today's world, a 40, 50-year-old woman is a young person. We are young people. We're living a different age in so many ways that we can live a very long time. So for me, when I saw Gail's video about her having breast cancer and she beat it, that's huge. So congratulations to her and her family, her husband, and there's people on my channel that I know have the same stories. And I can only say to you as an individual, that is so impressive. And the thing is, the will to live. Wow. The will to live. Meanwhile, as we know, people are overdosing on drugs and killing themselves. It makes no sense. So, enough about Gail for now. And once again, I'm doing a shout out because I just really enjoy her channel. And I'm looking forward to spending some time with her and her husband and doing motorcycle rides or car rides and doing things together. That'll be a great thing. So the review, I think to myself, wow, what do we all do? We all look to reviews. And that's why I want to go back to my original story of who I am. What's incredible to me is for so many years, Joe that worked for me always said to me, you need to start a YouTube channel and do reviews on cars. And my immediate response to him was, which you've heard just before, was everybody does that. Everybody, brother, wants to go out and buy a car, a motorcycle, whatever it may be, and they want to do a review on it, and then they're going to be some super known YouTuber. And I just knew that that's an incredible challenge to do. But over years and years, Joe eventually convinced me to go out and make a YouTube video and to start my channel I called Ice Age TV. I came up with that name on my own because I thought about the internal combustion engine age is going to be challenged. And for me, as I've told you many, many times, if you see my original video of me buying like a GT500 Mustang, that was probably the true beginnings in 2020 of my YouTube creator, me being a YouTube creator. And for me, I'm just going in here really quickly, and I'm going to try to find that video and just kind of show it to you. And the reason I want to show it to you is because I didn't show my face. I didn't talk. I didn't do anything that I do now. So it was a totally different type of platform for me. And that's so funny. So it's not going to show it probably. And I'm just probably aggravating you because I'm sitting here taking time when I should have done this earlier when, and it goes way back. So right here, so went way back 2 years ago. But when I first started my channel, I didn't show my face. So 4 years ago, and if you look right here, it's just a whole different type of kind of who I was. And if you can go and watch the channel, but you never see my face. But my initial thought was that I would create this channel and I'd follow Joe's idea and start doing reviews of so many different cars. And that's what kind of got the channel growing. And I wanted to share with others, hey, what's a GT500 versus the Hellcats? There's no old Indians. That's my icon for my channel. That first Indian I bought, a Dark Horse Roadmaster, which I just love. And I used to have my own website, IndianMotorcycleForum.net, but it was very challenging. So here's my first GT500. And I used to play the theme of music. And there's my daughter and I. This is like, I believe, February of 2020. Just post pre-pandemic. So I'll just kind of fast forward a little bit here to kind of get through all this. But you'll see that you'll never see me. You never see my face. Watch that whole video. You'll never see me in the video because my thoughts were I didn't want the video channel to be so much about me. I wanted to be more about the cars because I saw so many people out there always looking at themselves in their videos. So I was trying to kind of make it look different in an aspect of me reviewing cars that was more about the cars I reviewed. Well, after just months and months of doing this, it didn't really gain any traction. And as time progressed, even my friends were like, you really should show your face. My daughter, it's like, you need to start showing your face to talk to your YouTube community. And so I changed it up. And so once again, the reason I'm talking about review of this conversation this morning is because all of us, I think, want to review something. If you're going to go out and buy something, you're going to probably look for, the true beginnings of the car magazines, the motorcycle magazines, what drove the success of those magazines? It was reviews. It was journalists that would get their hands on the brand new car of that era back in the early 1900s, because these car magazines, a lot of them came around, I think, in like 1930s, 40s. Somebody may know better than me the longest, Hemingway News or whatever. Somebody knows better than me probably that. But the point is that what grew their business was doing reviews on things that people would want to buy. Get away from that, Keith. Come on. The Consumer Reports magazine, who didn't used to just laugh at Consumer Reports? I did. Consumer Reports would publish these lengthy articles, statistics, safety, this, that. And and overall, it wasn't a bad magazine or whatever you want to call it. I haven't looked at that company's articles in years, probably 10 or 20 years. But when I did, it always just didn't seem to me to be a great review. It seemed to be kind of like lopsided. And that's the challenge that many, many people say in these car reviews. What drives the business model for you to have a magazine, for you to be a publisher? The number one thing that you have to get is advertisers. It's just like on my YouTube channel. For me ever to really make money on my channel, I really have to have a lot of advertisers. And it's like the hood, Mr. Charles, hope you're okay. I wonder if you're still getting notifications that my channel's active. I think to myself sometimes, a lot of people that subscribe to my channel, they disappear every now and then. And I start to think, I wonder if they got unsubscribed, because I've heard this story so many times on my channel where people no longer get notifications of my channel making videos, and they find out that they've been unsubscribed to my channel. Weird things are going on. They really are. My channel has weird things that go. It's weird what goes on behind the scenes. The moderators, I think I'm on the radar screen for YouTube. And another reason I thought of this word review, but going back to real quickly about the car magazines, they need advertisers to be in business to be able to publish their magazines and to be able to pay journalists. And it can become very touchy where a Ford is throwing all the money to their magazines. What are the journalists going to do? Are they going to favor Chevy or Fords? There's always been a speculation behind the scenes that when you read these reviews, are you really getting the real review? Because there's favoritism money's being handled and transferred to run a company that is trying to stay in business by doing reviews. So I know many people will agree with that you always wondered why all of a sudden the Ford was such the more of the gender and so much more of the talk of journalists over the Chevy when you saw most of the ads in the magazine were Ford over Chevy. So back to the review. This is really just yesterday. I talked about this the other day, but I just yesterday came to realize YouTube's not paying me anymore. That's factual. YouTube has stopped paying me. What is going on? Wow. I mean, it really, I mean, for me being a YouTuber, I do love YouTube. I really do. For anybody who's listening to me, I love the way I can publish content. I love how they let me do all this stuff, but at the same time, something's not right. I mean, sometimes, do I need to go hire a lawyer? Do I need to get into books of YouTube? Is YouTube doing deceptive things? Is this like the Elon Musk, Twitter? Is something going on? Does Elon Musk need to buy out YouTube because something's going on? I just scratched my head. So just give you a little more information on that. I've come to realize that YouTube did not pay me in July, and it's not really big monies. So it's not like my checkbook grows substantially when YouTube puts money in my account. And I always pay about the 21st, 22nd, 23rd of the month. Well, yesterday, I was in my office doing a ton of paperwork, and I took the time to look at my revenues because it looked like my revenues doubled. And I was like, wow. Here I kind of been mouthing off on how my numbers aren't that great. And all of a sudden, I was like, wow, they owe me a nice little chunk of money. And I'm thinking, man, my channel actually doing better than I thought. No, not at all. They now owe me for July and August. So how do you get through to a Google person? Have you ever tried to get through a Google person? Good luck. So and what you have to do, you go through AdSense. So, there's different entities with Google that make this all work with YouTube. So you have to go through AdSense, which I had to go through a lengthy, you have to go through a lot to become paid through YouTube. You just don't get paid automatically. You have to go through, they have to do background, they have to get tax information. There's a lot that goes on for you to actually qualify to be paid through YouTube. So, but I have a company called Ice Age Inc. That's an S corporation, and that's how I get paid. I use my corporation to get money. So they don't pay me directly, and I have a business that's set up as Ice Age Inc. And so I reached out through a chat session, and Dawn, this seemed to be a very nice person, took the time to look into my account. And she put me on a chat hold for a while, and then she had to come back and she said, would you mind waiting 3 to 5 minutes as I review your account? And I said, not a problem. I'm here working in my office. I'm here in front of my computer. It's not a big deal. Just do whatever. After all that time, I spent about 10 minutes on a chat session with her, at least, if not 15. She said, I can't handle this. This has to be escalated to a higher up. I'm like, what? I was like, what's going on? She says, I can't give you any information. Really? So, as it stands right now with Google, their AdSense platform, they're reviewing my channel. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Wow, it's disheartening. It really is. As hard as I work to try to make a really cool YouTube channel, as hard as I work to be having to tell you this story this morning, it makes me sick to my stomach, to be very honest with you. It's ridiculous. It's sad. Where do I go? I mean, where do I take my platform? Do I go to Rumble? I don't want to go to TikTok. I don't like TikTok. I think TikTok's Chinese. I don't want to support it. Instagram, everybody's on Instagram. They don't have the platform to do long videos. So I don't know. It's be very interesting. I can tell you this much, everybody. If I ever disappear off of YouTube, it's because they pulled me. It wasn't me. I mean, it wasn't me stopping. It's because somebody doesn't like me. I don't know what's going on. And when I do find out, I mean, I've got no notice. The representative, Dawn, said that they would reach out to me and let me know what's going on. Well, I've heard nothing. So I don't know. I just don't know. It's just very disheartening. So for me, but I'll keep on trudging along and try to overcome all that negativity that seems to be a lot on the back end of YouTube on my channel. But I could be misled. As they say, maybe I'm Mr. Misinformation, and I'm just now running my mouth. There's just more misinformation, which just makes them on the back end just more aggravated than me. I don't know. But why don't they just reach out and have a conversation with me instead of just hiding behind the scenes? Wouldn't that, isn't that what you're supposed to do? So back to the review. So the reason I thought of this review was that Drew, that idea, that's where the one idea came from. I really was going to have a conversation called the sick conversations. What's making you sick in today's society? And Gail would be a perfect person to use an example of right now of what foods you eat to make you sick. And even she talks about that in her Go to the 7-Eleven video on some of these foods that you go buy. There's a gazillion ingredients in it, and to even eat it. She was hesitant to even eat the Roman chicken soup you make with a little piece of chicken that looks like a little piece of rubber. But she said it looked like rubber and sausage. But so, anyways, the review, yes, that's what is drawn. That's what's made YouTube so big, because everybody and their brother creates their own YouTube channel, and they want to share with others on reviewing something. Like this morning, there's a really successful newbie, I guess, a motorcycle guy that is a big motorcycle enthusiast, probably around my same age, lives up there in Jersey, somewhere near New York, and he did a video on the Orange County Choppers old building. That, if you remember Orange County Choppers, I think he was wrong in his information though, because he's claiming that Orange County Choppers, which I believe is about right, was aired for the first time on Discovery Channel in 2002 with Paul Tuttle, Paul Jr., and Vinny, and Mike, and all the characters that used to be on that series of building custom choppers, as the father and son would get into it all the time and fight and argue. And that's what drew people to watch that show. They liked to see the bikes being built, but they enjoyed seeing the antics of the father and son, which really was sad in the end, because the father and son, in so many ways, became enemies and shook hands. But he claims that big $12 million, he said it cost $12 million to build that huge Orange County Choppers new facility in 2003. I don't think that's right. There's no way. I don't think that facility got built to right when the economic crash hit. I think they built that because there's no way in 1 year that showed me that type of money. I don't remember that. I remember being in a few different shops and then eventually progressing to that big mega shop. The whole point is, he's had a really good video. He actually gave me a great idea. He shows him driving down the road in his motorcycle, and so when he gets back in, he talks as he's riding the motorcycle as he goes there. That's a pretty good angle, because I never can figure out how to get the damn headset and my phone to the frickin' 360. And for the record, the 360 video finally populated yesterday for a second try, and even Don thought that was yesterday's video, but it was the day before his video. So just that 360 is so challenging. So the point is, here's another YouTuber that wants to review. And if you're a YouTube creator, you know the challenge of you starting a channel, and then you want to go out and share with others what you feel is good or bad, and do reviews and get the attention of it. Extremely challenging, very challenging. And even the point that's why I kind of changed my content of my channel, is because I just kind of came to closure that just doing reviews all the time isn't really gonna. I just felt like I want to get more. I really want to get more into the intellectual side. I want to get in more to like the cars and coffee talk, more of like the conversations, more like people could interact in my channel, and more of a friendship community. And hopefully information I share is information that you hear about and learn about, and you share with others. And for the most part, I think it's been respectively successful. Not by leaps and bounds, but I enjoy it though. But the biggest thing is, I enjoy getting up each morning and challenge myself to create content and conversation to radiate back to you. But what's really intriguing about all this is, today, the danger of the internet, it's either loves you or hates you. And what I mean by that, if you're a restaurant, you're a car dealership, whatever it may be, you now have the access to see reviews of people's experience of going somewhere, eating somewhere, buying something. And that review, you have 3 stars, 1 star, 5 stars. I guarantee everybody here is on the same page. When you see a 1-star rating business, that's a red flag. When you see a 4 or 5 star rating business, that makes you feel like it's probably a good place to go, whether it's eating food or buying something. In fact, my good friend John down at Motorcycles Dulles, this guy is adamant about the Google reviews, and you know it, you go buy something somewhere, and then you're getting emails, if they have your email, or your cell phone, and they want the review. You go get your car serviced at the dealership, they want the review of how your oil change went or how your car purchase went. It's huge, because it drives the impression of whether you're a good business or a bad business. And once again, that's a huge value to you as a business owner, because if you're not getting the stars, then you're probably going to have people that aren't coming to your business. And so for John at Motorcycle Adults, this guy, he may have pulled back a little bit, but I'm sure he has other people there that monitor his website. And with somebody who's not happy, he addresses it very quickly. So his goal is to be a 5-star dealer. And if you're a 5-star dealer, that's, and once again, I know many people here agree that you sometimes question who the real participants are. And even to the point that I've seen dealerships, I mean, just so you know, I had a really major problem with my Land Rover, a local company here called Rosenthal Land Rover of Tyson's Corner. Years ago, I sold my Land Rover, and I had back-end add-ons. And they went through a change of administration, that dealership. Mr. Bob Rosenthal passed, and the reins of the company had been turned over to the grandsons. And the grandsons, from my understanding, were a bunch of party heads in Hollywood trying to create movies. So they weren't so much in the automotive industry. So they hired this just really not the automotive executive guy. So they threw, like Home Depot did with George Nardelli, that was a GE executive that for years worked under Jack Welch, that was only hoping that he would take the reins when Jack Welch retired. If you know who Jack Welch is, you're kind of in the business community of successful people. Well, George Nardelli was passed over, and then the Home Depot throws George Nardelli into the operation to be the president of Home Depot, and he runs the thing like GE did. He runs it like a military-style type of supply houses and warehouses and distribution, which destroyed Home Depot. And only to later to go break off and be the president of Ceribus of Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep. When I saw that in 2006, I drove around to all my good friends at every Dodge dealer and said, you know what? George Nardelli just became the president of Ceribus, who just bought out Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge. I said, you're done. I told I had lots of friends at dealerships around here. I told the managers, like, you're done. Like, why? George Nardelli just took over. He'll run this thing into the ground. Hey, guess what? Between the country going broke and George Nardelli taking over, he ran that thing into the ground and bankrupted it. Does everybody remember that? Remember, the Fiat Chrysler Automotive Group bought out the bankrupt Obama held. Remember, the government had 30% stake in Dodge and Fiat and Chrysler and everybody else. And it took years for Fiat to eventually buy out the pension union guys and the government. That was very challenging for Fiat Chrysler Automotive Group that bought out the Ceribus financial dire straits. So back to the reviews, the point is that you sometimes wonder what's really going on behind the scenes of the review. And that's what I said at the beginning of my conversation was I think many people would agree that it's always kind of twisted of what you're really hearing, of what really is, what versus what isn't, because the money exchange. And I know Motorcyclist magazines, Rider magazine, you can go through the list of back in my day, the access was through magazines. I can remember going down to the bookstore and getting my monthly subscription of Motor Trend magazine, Dirt Bike magazine, four-wheel off-road magazine. That was exciting times for me as a young person because I looked forward to the new subscription each month. And who doesn't remember then eventually the books, Barnes & Noble and all these big bookstores back in the late 80s and 90s started populating. And it was so cool to go hang out and drink your coffee, have your girlfriend, your wife, your boyfriend, your spouse, whoever it may be, and you went down there and you made it an adventure to hang out, and you even had the opportunity to even read and just put it back if you didn't want to take it home. So it was classic. My wife was always over in like the history. She was always into this, really in-depth books. I'm over in the magazine section looking at all the dirt bikes and the motorcycles and the cars and the trucks. And then you had the CDs. You could go there. Those are some great days. Those things are still around, but not like they used to be. It's really a demographic area. So, once again, the point of that is, even back then, you knew that just in general, you always kind of scratched your head if that magazine was favoring a brand because of what money it's receiving from the manufacturers on advertising their product. I mean, that's the number one thing that racing's all about. It's all about manufacturers build things to go race on the real deal, and then you come to closure, and your own brain, is that Honda better than the KTM? Or is the Honda better than the Suzuki? Or is it better than the Husqvarna? Or is it better than now the Triumph? The Triumph is now back into motocross with Ricky Carmichael was one of the key designers of that brand new Triumph 250 motocross bike. That'd probably be cool to get, because if it's a fail, you'll probably have a very rare bike one day if Triumph doesn't really get into that circuit, which will take years and years. But the point is that for you and I think most of us will all agree, before you go buy something, more than ever today, you're going to go look for the reviews of that product, and you're going to read about it, and it's then going to kind of come to closure of whether you feel that fits the seat of your pants. And so that's, and like for John Deere, for me, the Gator, I've always had the Honda Pioneers. I like the way the John Deere looks, and I'm not into really doing radical back-roading or off-roading, but I would be the first to raise my hand and tell you that is not the machine to buy if you're really the guy that's going off-road in the backwoods. You're better off buying the Honda, the Polaris, the Can-Am, the Kawasaki. There's just no way. This thing just doesn't have, this is belt-driven. The Honda is gear-driven. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I think I ought to trade this in for another Honda Pioneer. I've had a bunch of them. Does that happen? It could. With me, who knows? But once again, if somebody said to me, and that's why I say on my channel, like yesterday, I took a lot of time to try to convey to other people through my own personal experience, is the trike going to fit you? And last night I spent the time of using the muck off. I used a little funny thing on my YouTube channel. There's good old Don. What I do with the motorcycle one. You know what? Kiefer's over here. He jumps on top of this damn counter all the time, and he's going to destroy my really cool die-cast motorcycle thing I set up, with Don being a participant on, is he going to do a review on my bike? He's ready to do it right now. Yeah, I just dropped something on the floor here. Yeah, and then I've got the Yashimura exhaust to put on. And so for me, on my channel, I do go out of my way to do how-to videos and to share before and after. I really want to do that Yashimura Honda Grom, the before and after exhaust note on it. And other people have done that, but I'd like to do that. And so I enjoy that. So another whole aspect of my channel is I do really enjoy doing how-to videos. I really do enjoy when I do go buy a vehicle that I can give you reviews on it. But at the same time, I think to myself too, what's really intriguing is there in the YouTube community 5-star ratings of YouTube posters? And I don't know. I mean, sincerely, I don't know. Somebody should reach out to me and tell me. I don't see that. Do you see next to these YouTube, when you look at people that you want to subscribe to, do they have a rating for that person's YouTube channel? I don't think they do. Isn't that interesting? Because so many of us are so, I think, connected to looking at reviews before you commit to buy something. But here's where this is what kind of really had me thinking as well, is look at the political field. Look at our government. Do you see any 5-star reviews for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? I mean, is that even, or the government, that your local government or your local police officer enforcement or your local dog pound enforcement, or you could kind of go into a lot of variables. Your local school system support. Is there a rating system for our government? I don't think there is. Isn't that such the irony to the life we live in, that you as a business owner work very hard. You strive so hard, and not everybody does. There's a lot of dirt bags in business, and we all know there's the good and bad, public servants and private. I mean, that's never going to go away. Just like sports, there's good and bad. Oh my gosh, to watch Carlos Alcaraz get eliminated last night in the U.S. Open second round. Oh my God, what happened to Carlos? I really enjoy watching that guy play tennis. What a bummer. He's out. Djokovic, he's still in. So this Netherlands kid that's been around for quite a long time, who's been up and down his career, he smoked him. It's like Carlos never showed up. It's like, as he said in his interview, that he was his own worst enemy. He was his own worst opponent. And I said on the Wall Street Journal forums, where I read one article of many other articles this morning about what played out, was I watched it through the second set. Then it was midnight and I went to bed. And so this morning I woke up, but I didn't think he was. I didn't see him by the second set. I was like, he's something's going on. So I made a comment on the Wall Street Journal. I said, does he have a new girlfriend? Hey, you know the stories of coaches will be the first to raise their hand that when these professional athletes get into a very high, in the playoffs, Super Bowl, it's like the girlfriend, the wife, they just you got to stay focused. Don't let something go on where it takes away your focus. So what happened to good old Carlos? Wow. Yeah, he took the Wimbledon, the French Open. He won the U.S. Open 2 years. If you're not a big tennis person, you probably don't get it. My mother loves tennis. My mother, I know right now, is watching the U.S. Open 24/7 down there in Florida. She just loves tennis, and I grew up playing tennis. I love tennis as well. I don't play it now as I'm older, but it's a great sport. And so, but let's go back to, as I was saying, for us individuals, we work so hard to bring customers, to bring satisfaction to our, to whatever you're doing, to your YouTube channel, whatever it may be. But then when it goes to the government sector, where is the 5-star rating? Is there? Can somebody please reach out and say, Iceman, you're delusional. You don't know what you're talking about. You're Mr. Misinformation now because you talk about so much stuff that's not factual. How about that? The kid ordered what were bigger than she realized, stickers. So I thought that would be pretty cool. How about that idea, right? She has ice cream. I don't think she took off her truck now. I can't tell. So the point is, does Joe Biden have a rating? Does Kamala Harris have a rating? Does, once again, it can go both ways. Does Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, do you have that capability? Does your local public school infrastructure have that capability for is that out there? I don't think it is. But why isn't it? That's what you have to say to yourself, why isn't it? Very interesting, right? Because, as you know, the media machine plays favoritism. And I think most would agree on my channel right now that the media is playing incredible favoritism to Kamala Harris. Incredible favoritism. And as we know, one thing about Trump, for me, I really didn't want to see Trump run again, but I get it. Don't get me wrong here. It's just I knew all the drama and all the emotional baloney would go with that to try to distract people, to try to make people not like him even more, and to try to get rid of him even more, and to make him fail even more because it's the constant rhetoric of his private life. And so I just knew that that's going to be very challenging to overcome the persons at the middle of the road, which direction they go. And so, but I get it. It doesn't matter if the Iceman ran for the office. The Democratic Party immediately is going to dig up everything that I did in my life wrong and then even fabricate things that I didn't even do. And they're going to then just rag on the Iceman. So eventually people just hate the Iceman. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the Republicans don't do the same thing. I think the Democrats do a better job. I've said this many, many times. The Nancy Pelosi's, the Chuck Schumer, the Jerry Nadlers, the Adam Schiff, AOC, the Maxine Waters. I can go through the list of how they are masters of making people believe what they say, and sadly, the anger that they win over people against the other party. They're the pit bulls of the political field. So you have to say to yourself, who do you want on your team? Who do you want on your team? Do you want the person that just never ever gives up? Versus I feel like the conservative side, they get water thrown in their face and they just go away. And I feel like on the Democratic Party side, they don't give up. They don't give up. All right, that's pretty much it. Brian's showing up to work. I got to get the kid and Brian off to work today. And I just like to share my thoughts and views and ideas. And once again, if you don't see this video, then maybe, once again, when I talk this way, there's no doubt in my mind, I think to myself, but I think to myself, how is it that all these other bigger YouTubers or these personalities get away with posting their very strong rhetoric of in so many words, the hatred of the others on their channel, and they're never, they'll keep going for forever. So that's it. Once again, leave it at that. It's a Labor Day weekend. Chris, my friend, wants to ride motorcycles today because he said it's going to be cooler. It's not much cooler. It is still very humid. It is overcast. It is supposed to rain today, so I don't know how it's going to play out. But maybe we go ride. But I don't like riding in the rain. The rain is no fun to ride in. It's just not any fun. That's like a no for me as I get older in life. No, thank you. So anyways, and the bikes, oh my gosh, what do I ride? It's just, yeah, right. Yeah, so I want to rating I would be really interested to know, for those that participate in my channel, what rating would I get? If YouTube had a rating, what would be your gut instinct? Would I be a 1 rating, a 3 rating, a 5 rating? I'd like to hear that. I'd love to hear others reach out and say, Mr. Iceman, I think your channel would be this rating if they had that even available on the YouTube community. So that's it. I'm going to plug it off. I'm going to shut as always. God bless. Have a really safe Labor Day weekend. And stay tuned for more content and more videos. And God bless everybody. Have a great day.